All right, Tyler Perry fans, and I know that a lot of fans are still sour after the lackluster series finale of the haves and the have-nots. And this video was just kind of asking the question, why can't Tyler Perry, for one reason or another, seem to stick the landing on finales? Now, I know there are a number of reasons people have, like, it isn't Tyler's fault. OWN is the one that canceled the series, or maybe OWN was the one to extend it further than it should have gone. And, the network did this, the network did that. There were arguments behind the scenes, but I feel like, a lot of these arguments are valid because we don't always know the contractual obligations of a creator to a network. Sometimes things are renegotiated. Sometimes contracts are null and void where they cut ties before the contract has run its course, and so many reasons and factors that we don't always know the details of. However, the thing about Tyler Perry writing is I feel like we can all agree that regardless of if he's doing a television series, a movie, or, some other project in general, he almost structures everything in the same way he does a play. And if you look at a lot of the early Tyler Perry plays, it's kind of the same thing where the opening introduces characters, the different storylines they're going through. There are songs and, jokes and whatnot along the way. There's the climax, and then there's almost like a long stretch of nothing. But during the last 5 minutes or so, seemingly everything is resolved. And it's kind of funny how when you really think about Tyler Perry plays, even if things are crammed into the last 5 or so minutes, at least they resolve everything for the most part. The same can't be said for the likes of If Loving You Is Wrong, or The Haves and the Have-Nots, and even some of the shows like Meet the Browns or House of HAHN. I'm talking prior to the show coming back. The series just kind of ended on a note where it's like, wait a minute, what happened after that? So I think what happens is there's such a long stretch in these Tyler Perry shows that the characters don't really develop. And to be honest, most of the characters, they could have had their stories resolved 2 or 3 seasons ago and made way for new characters, as opposed to keeping them on the show for the entire duration. Their characters pretty much stuck on one particular storyline, whether it be an addict, a cougar, a thief, a sex addict, criminal, and everything else in between. I think what could really help, and this is just my opinion, and that's if Tyler and the network have a discussion on when the show is going to end. And I feel like even though Greenleaf, the finale wasn't perfect, I still say the penultimate episode, basically the episode prior to the last one, I think was better than the actual finale. I think there should be a conversation of how long a series is supposed to run. And even before that, even after that, let's say it's agreed on, okay, this particular season is the final season. I think at that point, Tyler should get at least a few people to consult with, maybe some fans who know the show from top to bottom, maybe some other writers, just to say, hey, this is the final season. This is the number of episodes I have to work with. What are all the different storylines, character arcs that need to be resolved before that final episode comes to a close? That way, even if the final season isn't like the best, and when I say by best, it's like even if the show ends before fans want it to, it ends in such a way that fans can at least be satisfied. It's like, well, at least the show ended answering the questions, as opposed to feeling like it was canceled on a Friday and then Tuesday is the final episode and then that's it. So I feel like if he can get some other cooks in the kitchen just to make sure things get wrapped up, I think his show's ending wouldn't leave such a bad taste in fans' mouths. Look at Tyler Perry movies. The same thing is kind of true of the plays, and it goes back to what I said. His play structure is almost how he writes a lot of these television shows. Don't believe me? Check out season 1 of Assisted Living and tell me I'm wrong. a lot of times it's almost as if he has a rushed ending. It's almost like, he was given an assignment that he has a month to work on by the teacher, but he waits until the last minute to finish the assignment. Like, he might do the first 2/3 of it during the first couple weeks, but then the night before it's due, it's like, oh crap, I gotta finish this assignment up. So he'll just rush out something, hand it in to get a semi-passing grade, and that's it. And I feel like maybe it gets to a point where he has the shows on the air so long that they run their course right up until the time his contract with a certain network is over. And then when he goes to work at another network, eventually down the line, he'll bring the series back. So think of it this way. House of Pain, Meet the Browns were on TBS. And then now he has Assisted Living and House of Pain on Viacom. The Haves and Have-Nots were on OWN. And we do know that there's about a year and some change left of Tyler Perry's current contract with Viacom. I don't know if he's going to sign again with them or do something even bigger. Maybe he'll do his own thing. Who knows? But if he were to re-sign with Viacom for like another 3 or 5 years, it's possible that the Haves and Have-Nots might come back for a conclusion, because maybe it's almost like, I'll stick it to you, like the Haves and Have-Nots what made OWN what it was today. And perhaps it's like, you don't deserve a good ending. So when I go to someone who's going to treat me better, I'll give them a revival of the Haves and Have-Nots to kill you in ratings. So maybe it's kind of a petty vindictive or vendetta he has against networks. I don't know, because think of it this way. House of Pain and whatnot did a lot on ratings, but then the Haves and Have-Nots blew up even bigger. And I think that the Oval and Sisters are doing really good in ratings, but they aren't pulling Have and Have-Not numbers though. But they're definitely noticeable when compared to everything else on Viacom right now, specifically BET. So I think what Tyler really should do more than anything else is, even if him and the network come to a head on when a show should end, if Tyler himself knows that a series is about to come to a close, he should definitely get a couple people to talk with to ensure the scripts look solid, the storylines are resolved. That way fans aren't mad as hell when the series comes to a close. So in my opinion, I feel like it's kind of a blending of not just network decisions and the people above Tyler telling him when the show's going to end. I feel like it's Tyler Perry's writing style where he just rushes things out, and it's almost as if it's like, they'll watch it anyway, so I'll just kill everybody off. So I think that's a disservice to not only the fans who support a series for so many years, but to the actors portraying the characters and bringing them to life. Instead of writing them solid storylines and conclusions, you just kill them off to kill them off. So let's talk about it more in the comment section below. And with that being said, I'll talk to you all in the next video.